Well, good morning and welcome right across Australia to a direct telecast of the final of the 7th European Championship for Nations. And this year, this tournament, held like the World Cup every 4 years, brings together the hosts France and neighbour Spain. As France, one of the sentimental favourites of the 1982 World Cup, get their second chance, as do Spain, who of course failed in the very World Cup they were hosting 2 years ago. And with us again this morning, Rale Rasic and Tony Palumbo. Tony, firstly, what's the latest from Paris?
Well, both teams, Spain and France, will play the 4-4-2 formation, and Spain will be missing Gordillo and Maceda, who have both been suspended. So the lineups for Spain: Arconada in goal, the back four: Urquiaga, Camacho, Julio Alberto and Salva. Then Señor, Victor, Gallego and Francisco, and up front Santillana and Carrasco. France, Batz in goal, Battiston, Leroux, Bossis and Domergue make the back four. In midfield, Tigana, Fernandez, Platini and Gires, and up front, Lacombe and Bellone.
Okay, so Rale Rasic, good news for France, of course, is that there's nothing wrong with Michel Platini, who might well decide this game, I suppose.
France is everybody's favorite, but you know, big matches are not decided by one player. Platini has played in this tournament such a great role for France that he looks match winner and he's everybody's favorite. But you know, big matches are, as I said, not decided by one player. I would go for this not from the point of view of being sort of sentimental towards France, but I think that they are entertainers. If they put together tonight entertainment plus business-like type of football, they have to win. But they cannot get involved into sort of tackling, rough tackling by Spaniards who are known for this type of football. And once they get involved, they are facing the problems.
Tony, what do you think would happen if the Spaniards played it very tough, as they normally do?
Well, I don't envisage any problems, really. We got international players of great experience in both sides. And let's not forget that Spain will be missing Gordillo and Maceda, as I said earlier on. And they will be sadly missed, I think. Probably Camacho would be the sweeper, but he's an emergency sweeper. Goicoechea is on the bench, but he's injured too. And let's face it, France reached this final, winning 4 matches out of 4. If one looks at Spain record, they really only won 1 match within either the 90 minutes or the 120 minutes of extra time, and then they drew 3 times. So really France have got to be favorites, despite whatever kind of game Spain chooses to play.
Well, really, the French have played brilliantly in this tournament. Michel Platini, particularly, who scored 8 of their 12 goals so far. But they have come close. It was very hairy, scary for them in a couple of the recent matches. I think 2 of them went to extra time. So there is this problem of playing at home and being under this sort of hometown pressure. Remember, in 1960, they lost their semi-final in Paris, the other time that this tournament was held in France.
You see, that's a big responsibility for them to play in the front of the crowd, and also French football hasn't really succeeded over the years. At the club level, they hardly ever done anything very successful, and international level, they haven't really done much. This is since '58, first opportunity for them really to stamp authority on European market.
All right, thank you, Rale. Well, let's go over to the Parc des Princes in Paris and to our commentator, Martin Tyler. And welcome back. Rale Rasic, Martin Tyler saying that the first half suited Spain more than it did France. Why was that, do you think?
Spanish defense seems exceptionally well organized, and the type of football they play, it's a counter-attack football where Santillana is doing a magnificent job from behind and creating all openings and chances. Also, this defense of Spaniards is just no-nonsense defense, which does not have a compromise like Gallego on a last tackle man-to-man. There is no sort of any other solution except man foul. And so, you know, that's a big match atmosphere that's all about. Also, a marking of Platini is the greatest probably contribution, really, and great decision by Munoz, you know, to mark Platini out of the game. He knows if Platini is marked out of the game that French team cannot perform.
Very different proposition.
Sure.
It started off as a very pacey, very fast game, much more so than the European finals we've been seeing lately, Tony. It's all been a very slow, let's see what the other team can do situation. But still very few chances really in the first half.
Yes, very few chances, and Platini marked very well out of the game, which brings me back to this recent Juventus tour of Australia, because Platini is not very popular with his teammates, really, from what I could gather. And some of them say that yes, he gets all the publicity, but in vital matches he tends to sort of disappear from the match, and for what we have seen in the first 45 minutes, that's what's happening tonight. Maybe at the end of the match he would have scored 3 goals, I don't know. Yes. But certainly it wasn't the Platini we are used to, especially in this tournament where he's already scored 8 goals.
More like the Platini that we saw in last year's European Cup final.
That's correct, yes.
Yes. So there is this tendency for him to disappear in big games.
So they say. Yeah. And another aspect I think interesting is that this free kick count, because we say how tough the Spaniards are, but so far the count is only 10 against Spain and 9 against France. So they are pretty even in these kicks, in free kicks.
What do you think of that, Rale?
Yeah. As I pointed out before, there are different fouls. Spaniards, once they make foul, it's a dangerous foul, it's necessary foul, it's professional foul, and if you can just recall, Fernandez got yellow card for talking back to the referee that I don't call that foul, right? But Spaniards really no nonsense, and I expected them to play exactly the type of football they are playing. And as I said before, if they succeed to upset the rhythm of French, they have a great chance of winning the game, because so far they should be in clear lead.
We always say what a marvelous soccer France can play. I'd like to emphasize that this marvelous soccer they play has never led them to any great victories. This is the first time they reach a final of a major European or world competition. And that reminds me of Brazil in the World Cup, really. Wonderful football, fantastic football, but somebody else won the tournament. I was wondering...
Well, we all know who, Tony.
Also, France hasn't played this type of football for many years. This is only since really Hidalgo took over control of the team that French football became sort of type of poetic, non-productive football that public likes, but the coaches don't, because it doesn't produce results all the time.
Okay, well, let's have a look at some of the highlights from that first half. And really, as I said, very few of them. We've noted down about 4 chances that fell in front of goal, and really 3 of those fell to Spain, as we shall see in a moment. But the first one fell, in fact, to France. In the 11th minute of the first half, when the ball was played across the goal, Michel Platini was involved in the mood, and France came very close to opening the scoring. Yes, Henri Lacombe, the man who made the shot across the goal. But Rale, that was the situation in the 11th minute of play, and after that, really, Spain began to dominate a bit more.
It was a period of adjustment. Platini still had a bit of time, so Spaniards didn't probably get stuck into him. But you see how great player Platini is. Just a bit of opportune time, it's a goal chance created. Magnificent ball to the left.
Period of adjustment then, which was achieved after the first quarter of an hour or so. So do you see then the game continuing in this vein, that Spain really do manage to close down on France and in fact manage to dominate?
If Platini is marked as well as he has been over the past 45 minutes, and if Santillana contributes so much to the game as he does as individual, I see Spain winning the game.
All right, well, let's go to the second highlight of this first half, and we had to wait until the 19th minute for that to happen, and that started a series of incidents which took place in front of the French goal. This was an opportunity missed by Victor, the Barcelona midfielder. Yes, Victor couldn't convert, but the damage was really done by Santillana, who's exceptionally good in the air and in fact threatened many times later on, Tony.
Well, as Rale pointed out earlier on, he is really the danger for France. It looks as if he's going to be the danger in this match, because here he made the chance for Victor, and then we'll see later on the 2 chances he had himself. Against against Santillana being so dangerous, I think the 2 French forwards have been fairly tame. Lacombe and Bellone. So I wonder whether Hidalgo will do something about bringing on maybe either Six or Ferreri, who played in previous matches.
All right, well, more from Santillana in the next incident, which happened in the 32nd minute, also in front of the French goal. A corner was taken, and this was a classic Santillana header, which won many matches for Real Madrid and indeed for Spain. Yeah, Santillana soaring in the air, Rally, and beating his defender there, not only with height but with power as well. France, as you say, are not reproducing, or at least I found they're not reproducing quite the sort of game that we saw from them in the World Cup. Is it simply because Spain is not allowing them to, or do you think Hidalgo may have changed things a little bit since then?
Spain is playing at its best. Counter-attacking football is a specialty of Spanish football, and if you can notice, not both fullbacks are overlapping, but one, Julio Alberto, is causing incredible problems on the left side. And this could result in 1 or 2 goals during the 45 minutes, which really, from the defensive point of view, it's a great contribution by the defender. Right? Contrary to that, right full-back is staying out of because of the Fernandez being able to take man on man all the time, at all times, and he's not overlapping. He has not made one attempt to overlap. Right? So as well as they are composed, because they are playing in their best, plus, as we said, it's a magnificent ability of Santillana. But if I may point out 2 more things, it's excellent defense by French defenders on both occasions, especially in the first one, under incredible pressure to play the ball over crossbar. It's one of the things that defenders have to learn, and that's in a difficult, under pressure situation. This is where they have to apply themselves.
Referring to what you said, Tony, about the fact that this beautiful football has not won France anything, do you get the feeling that Monsieur Hidalgo may have got a little bit more pragmatic in the way that France is playing tonight?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer. You see, it doesn't come as a great surprise that France are not setting the world on fire tonight, because let's face it, in the semi-final they were 6 minutes away from elimination with Portugal. So yes, they played extremely well in the first part of the tournament, but they had their share of problems against Portugal already. And let's face it, Spain too. If France were 6 minutes away from elimination, Spain were 60 seconds away from elimination. So it was a very evenly balanced tournament, and really at least another couple of teams could have been here tonight instead of either France or Spain.
Yeah, but there is no doubt really that France is a team of this tournament in any case, because their performance has been really great, irrespective of results of the matches, if they won into last 6 minutes or so. Spain did not impress at all at the beginning of the tournament, and now this is what usually happens in a big matches.
Well, certainly, judging by the scores, we could say that Spain were very lucky to, or at least only just squeezed in by the manner of small goals, few goals, and penalties, of course, against Denmark.
And also, since '82, the World Cup, when they were sort of described as a disgrace to the nation, they haven't really done anything internationally, and this is their opportune time, and I think the players realize that this is a great opportunity, and they are taking it really in a great style.
Sure. Let's take a look at another incident from that first half. 34 minutes into the half, and again it was Carlos Santillana. Yes, Carlos Santillana, that time missing the opportunity on the floor and not in the air. But Tony, you were at the '82 World Cup in Spain, and of course witnessed closer than we did here on television the failure of Spain. Is this a very different Spain under Miguel Muñoz?
Well, Muñoz, we know, is a very experienced coach. He won the European Championship with Real Madrid as a player, and then as a coach. I think it's a more determined Spain, and it's a more disciplined Spain. Of course, they've reached a stage here where they've got nothing to lose, and the pressure is off them. Whereby in Spain, the pressure was on them all the time, because they were expected to do great things, because they were playing in Spain. So yes, in answer to your question, it is obviously a different Spain, as results so far seem to indicate.
All right, Rale, what can we expect quickly from this second half?
It all depends really on Platini being able to get away from his opponent and start to create chances. It's not only Platini. Xerez is not playing well. really, you know, but one man cannot always win the games. He has scored 8 goals so far in the tournament, but this time he may not score. But he needs support of the other players, and France is not well composed up front and midfield, and this is what's causing them incredible problems.
Tony?
Yes, I agree that the midfield of France is not firing as well as it could. We have seen Tigana in a couple of instances.
And a victory for effervescent football, as Martin Tyler said, 2-0 to France, and their first ever trophy in international competition. But how deserved was it based on the entire game, Rale?
Well, the game was sort of evenly matched, really. I felt sorry for Spain, who dominated the game, and especially in the first half, and got bit on a loose end probably towards the end of the game, when Santillana, probably due to the bit of age, that he got out of the game. As soon as Santillana got out of the game, really Spain wasn't as dangerous as they were in the first 45 minutes. On the other hand, Platini, as anybody can say, he didn't have a great game, but Platini is Platini. He won free kick, 1 goal, and their midfield, as I said from the beginning, got it together, and goal in second goal is a beautiful product of a very constructive football move, and nothing else but the ball in the net.
Tony, the Platini was quiet, but it proved again that France is not entirely just Platini.
Well, of course, it's not Platini, otherwise they wouldn't have won, let's face it, because I haven't seen him at all. And the goal belongs to Arconada more than to Platini, quite frankly. Obviously, it was curling, yes, but Arconada had the ball, and it was a mistake by the keeper. I can't see anything in Platini's effort, really. And that was the key to the game, because it was a very evenly balanced game, which is further evidence of how even soccer has become at international level, really, how tight, how one incident can turn the tide in favor of one team instead of the other.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah, but you also must agree that since Platini scored, France played much different game from then on. You know, dominated the game for a full 20.
Well, I mean, what team gets a goal like that scored against and keeps playing the way they were before?
All right, well, it'll be a subject of much discussion, that goal, so let's have a look at it. It came in the 12th minute of the second half, 0-0 at the time, and it was Michel Platini lining up to take a free kick for France. Yes, Arconada letting the goal in, but I think I will disagree with most of the views put forward there, because we're being unkind to both Arconada and Michel Platini. I think in the real speed that we first saw the free kick in, it was obvious that it was a viciously fast free kick, very well taken, bent around the wall, very difficult to save.
Yeah, probably.
And quite frankly, I don't think that he saved it, as Martin Tyler said. It was not saved, it was half saved, and it trickled in.
Yeah, also Platini participated really in that move for that free kick. As Tony said, he didn't see him, but Platini made that free kick.
Yes, but what did you think of the free kick, Rale?
I think the goalkeeper probably paid too much attention, knowing that Platini lifts the ball over the ball very often. Probably he paid too much attention to that too. You know, just he was in two minds.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, as you see replay, the ball was much stronger than we thought at the first play.
Okay, well, it just gives us time now to have a look at the goal that finally sewed it all up for France, and that came in injury time, of course, scored by Bruno Bellone. Yes, that's the goal that did it. So one quick word from each of you, gentlemen. Tony first, France as European champions.
Well, they won. Very even match, I think. very even match, I think. Beautiful second goal, fantastic pass by Tigana, and beautiful finishing by Bellone, really.
Rale?
Fabulous ending for Hidalgo, really coach who worked miracles, and what a way to finish with the national team as a coach.
Yes,
absolutely fascinating.
I can echo that. Michel Hidalgo, the outgoing coach of France, of course, getting the first trophy for his country. Well, thank you very much for being with us, including viewers in Adelaide for NWS 9 and viewers right across